Good morning, Friday the 14th of February, so another weekly update as we come to the end of our working week. Course set up this morning, out with the hand mowers. We've been out and done a bunker rake in the dark and headed out at first light. Really hard to see this morning, no dew, so we've had to wait till it's light. And as I said, really tough to see with those hand mowers. But those hand mowers are a great tool, as I sort of said last week. They're very, very light. Very, very light compared to the triple ride-on mowers with 3 tyres. So the triples are operated with obviously an engine and 3 wheels, compared to the hand mowers, which are operated by a roller. So what I love is that you get a cut and a roll from the hand mowers, as opposed to the triple going across a heavy machine, all that weight on those 3 tyres. Going across and then putting the wheel marks in. The wheel marks are behind the unit, so particularly in the winter, hand mowers are a great tool. They're lighter, and also you get a bit of feel back into greenkeeping. Any areas that are struggling, any high wear areas, we can lift up over those areas and give them all a bit of a rest. Elsewhere this week is one hole change week, so we changed on Wednesday. And we've given the golf course a nice cut, ready for prepare for renovations next week. So aprons have been cut, got on the green surrounds, which first time I've been on those in a while. Overcutting those turns them a little bit muddy, so just taking our time doing them in the dry is the right process for that. So it's the first time they've been cut in a while, but neatens it up and nips them down, and got across tees as well. So there's been a bit of noise in the golf club regarding pitch marks, so I'm just going to go through pitch marks. The only thing I can give people excuse for, it's not a good enough excuse, but I do tend to find there's a lot of pitch marks at the front of greens. The only reason I can think of that is that people hit a ball into the green from perhaps a distance, lands on the front of the green, the ball runs to the back of the green, and they don't know they've done it. I was up topping sand up in the bunkers on 17 last week. Someone landed on the green, and there was all golf's great game for emotions, and it just rolled off the side, and there was lots of noise on the tee. Brilliant, great game. But that person that's next chipping doesn't realise they've landed on the green, and their pitch mark's still there. So it's just that association of not quite realising. As I said, I try not to get myself too emotional about and upset about these days, because we do take good care of the greens, and in a way, if you're not repairing pitch marks, you're only ruining it for yourselves. So I'll just flip this camera around and I'll give it a cut. I'm just looking here. So there's an example there where a pitch mark hasn't been repaired very well, because I believe someone's just come in there and just lifted straight up. What we're looking for, I've just got a pitch mark here. This is caused by a ball coming in this way, so we need to repair it going this way. So if I just take my pitch mark repairer and I'm just pushing that grass back the way it came, I'll just tap over my foot. You'll have a putter which is even smoother than my foot to do that, and you will barely know we've been there in a day or two's time. So that's just a tip. I'm not gonna preach at you. Repair pitch marks. You only ruin it for yourselves. But there's a tip. I'm sure everyone that's watching or listening to this, I'm preaching to the converted. You are the enthusiastic and do-gooders of the golf club who want to know more, and care about your golf club a lot. But yeah, if you maybe pass it on to your playing partners and things like that. Just a tip for how to repair pitch marks. So fairly short update this week, because it's been a bit Groundhog Week. It's been similar to what we've done over the last couple of weeks. So I've already explained everything we've done. So continued on with greenside bunkers, searching where the sand is, and then topping them up accordingly. So that's all up to date now. I'm very pleased to put that to bed. So we've had 2 lots of sand. So that's 58 tons worth of sand that we've put across in the bunkers. I have had a couple of people say, I feel is that too much sand, or there's too much sand in the bunkers now. We always try to aim a guidance of put 4 inches in the middle, 4 inches in the base, and 2 inches on the face is about the right level. That's what we're always aiming for. The perfect maintenance is to just go in and do a light top dress to every 6 weeks, but the number of staff that we have, if you can see, it's taken us 2 to 3 weeks of being pretty on it. It's very unrealistic to do that top up every 6 weeks. It's a long, labour intensive task. So it's a case of getting them to the right levels. Sand moves around all the time. And yeah, so it's having the right amount of sand in there so that we can give it time, and over time it will settle, so that we know as the sand moves around, whether it, I talked about last week, whether it goes up the face from being hit or raked away or blown out the bunkers or hit out the bunkers, we know that there's a good amount of sand in there, so we can do sand levels throughout the year to push it into the right areas. So yeah, almost very much treating them bunkers as if they're sort of new bunkers, and yeah, getting plenty of sand in there, which they'll probably feel quite different to start with, but over time with rain and people walking in there and things, they will compact down, and that will become relatively compact again. So yeah, as I said, it's great to put that to bed this week. And so just to finish off, I'll just do a short feature on the type of sand we use and why we use it. This sand is known in the industry as buck brick, and the reason we use it is because it is very angular. Now, traditional sands, beach sands, things like that, they're very, very round in shape. They're all very circular. And the negative of that is that there's not, that it all rolls off each other. So when you use very circular beach type sand on a bunker face, any wind coming through will blow. It will easily blow. It will easily wash out, and all those types of things, because it struggles to bind itself together, being very, very circular. So we've got a zoomed in photo, and this, yeah, as I said, this sand is very angular. It's got lots of fines and sharps. So having lots of different shapes and not being all perfectly circular and symmetrical, it sort of binds itself together a little bit better. That allows it to stay in the bunkers, like up faces and things like that. This sort of thing has been found in the industry through using liners and things like that, where we found a lot of traditional sands would just roll off and blow out, and then golf balls would hit like sort of rubber crumb liners and things like that. So yeah, we found with these types of sand, it drains well, it performs well as bunker sand, and it tends to hold its shape and doesn't move around too much in the natural environment, just as I said, with a bit of rain or being blown everywhere. So why do we use that Ogbourne Downs? So obviously we are a very open site and quite exposed to the elements, particularly wind. So I think that works out as the best sand for us for that reason. To just try and it just helps. It's something that helps stop moving the sand from the left side to the right side of the bunker during heavy winds and things like that. And so pathways we finish off as well this week, just by topping up another layer on 10 and whackering that down. So there's enough material in down there, and then we've still got quite a bit left over. So we did another area. We've topped up the type 1 at the back of the 18th green, that leads onto the rubber crumb pathway, as that was getting a little bit squelchy underfoot down there. So that should tidy that area up and be a bit nicer for coming off the golf course. So last week we also launched a Spotify channel. So if you're not able to watch the YouTube video in your short of time, then feel free to give us a listen on the Spotify app. So yeah, apparently the photo here is a Spotify code, and you could take a photo of that if you can, and that will take you straight to our channel. So yeah, it's a good opportunity. If you don't get the time to sit and watch it, then you can perhaps give us a listen or something in the car or on your travels. And that's about all for this week, folks. We did a wet day early in the week as well, so we continued on working on the stud work for the locker room and giving the boys some college studying time, as we do. Next week we have a course maintenance week, so that will entail deep tine aeration with the tractor and the verti-drain, and then that will be followed by short tine aeration, if you like, with a 60 mil tine going into the greens, using our 648 designated aerator, and then following behind that we'll apply top dressing, and then get the brush to brush all the sand into holes, and that will really help dilute any thatch there, and keep that top layer performing well, draining well, and all those important maintenance aspects that you get through those practices. So yes, it will be due to the intensity of those works. There'll be quite a few temporary pins out next week, and we very much just have to work around the weather. So if we hopefully it should only be 2.5, 3 days work. But as I said, you have to work around the weather. If you get a washout day, then there's not a huge amount you can do. Especially the really important bit for being dry is brushing the sand in. So weather like today, where it's cold but dry and windy, would be absolutely perfect for us next week, to really help assist us work that sand into those channels and those holes. So perhaps a good opportunity to take advantage of some of the club's reciprocals next week, or try another course. We very much try to discourage visitors and members bringing guests, as I said, there's potential for temporary greens all week. So we'll see how we go with that, and get that turned over as quickly as possible. Boys will put in the hours and work around the weather to return the golf course to normal as soon as possible.